Hello, my name is Emma Roberts. I am the tech champion for e-commerce and merchandising here at the Digital Culture Network for Arts Council England. Today's session, we are going to explore how to improve your online shop conversion. Let's look at who we are at the Digital Culture Network. For those who may not know who the Digital Culture Network is, we are a group of 9 individual tech champions, following on from DCMS, Culture is Digital, to look at the 9 key areas that were potentially a struggle or a challenge for arts and culture organisations. One being web design, social media, SEO, video content. But everyone's done an amazing job throughout COVID, and we have got some amazing case studies to share with you. So please do check out our website. We're constantly putting up case studies from the sector. But this website, digitalculturenetwork.org.uk, is just full of the latest news, new webinars, events, and across sector as well. So do feel free to check out our website. It has got a brilliant knowledge hub from all of the tech champions. So Google Analytics, digital strategies, website, digital content, as you can see. So feel free to check out these resources. They're completely free. And if you're eligible for Arts Council England funding, then you gain access to the tech champions so you can have a bespoke conversation about what's going on with your organisation. But again, without further ado, today we are talking about how to improve your online shop conversion. So I wanted to start the session off with a statistic that 96% of visitors that land on your website are not ready to buy. Now that is a staggering number. 96% of all traffic coming to your website are not, and only 4% are actually converting at checkout. So what can we be doing in terms of converting that potentially that extra 4%? So you've got double that conversion, about how we can kind of seamlessly get people through to checkout and improve your website conversion. So this is what we're going to figure out today, is the 3 areas that I always talk to organisations about when we're looking at optimising online shops is the 3 prog here. So attract, convert, and retain. Now we're all amazing at attracting amazing audiences to us, converting, coming along to the museums, but also, you know, a lot of us have already got an online shop and are converting very well. However, when I'm speaking to organisations, the final piece that seems to lack is looking at the retain. So what we want to try to achieve today is trying to work out a 360 approach about how we can look at attracting, converting, and retaining that audience segment. Because retaining a customer base is a lot cheaper for an organisation than to look at attracting new audiences through Google ads, Facebook ads, and Instagram ads. And so we're going to focus on these 3 key areas and look at one framework to help you with customer value journey, which we're going to go explain about on this session today. Just wanted to give you some stats from IMRG. If you haven't heard of IMRG, they are the UK's online retail association, and they look after the high street. So just gives you a rough guidance, a bit of a market benchmark for UK online retail in general, so not just arts and culture. The average conversion rate for the UK online retail is 4.2%. And then the average order value is 117%. Now, some of those stats might shock you, or you might feel, actually, you know, we're in line with potentially maybe the average conversion rate. But don't be worried about seeing how high the average order value, because this is just an average across fashion, homeware, outdoors, you know, all those kind of online shops. So, and that could be a multiple of things that they've done here, whether it was free shipping over an X amount of price, so maybe it's over £50, maybe it's a bit larger, 60, 70, etc. So just to bear in mind with you, don't panic if you're thinking your average order value isn't 170, it's not hitting that average. there's a few facets into that number. If you're not sure about your average order value or how what is your conversion rate, we actually have a brilliant webinar that's going to be hosted by Matthew Walsh. He is the Director of Data and Retail at IMRG, who's going to be looking at market benchmarks and tips for improving your conversion rates. And it's against smartphones and desktop devices, which I think is going to be a really handy webinar to attend, because we all want to know what a good average bad sales conversion looks like, and also looking at sort of delivery influences at checkout and just general functionality for product pages. Something that I look and explain a lot to organizations about and reviewing is how we can improve some of the functionalities on product pages to help with conversion. So this is actually available now to book on. Like I said, it's on Wednesday, the 30th of June. And if you click onto the Digital Culture Network website, you'll be able to book onto that session. Going from another stat here, this is from Salesforce, which is an e-commerce platform. So a Salesforce study suggests that 95% of customers are likely to be loyal to a company they trust. I thought I'd put this in today because every organization I speak to have an amazing loyal customer base. And it's really about thinking about, if 95% of customers are likely to buy from a very loyal, trusted source, then, you've got a good circumference of potential customers that you can look to promote additional products. It doesn't have to be always on, or it doesn't always have to be e-commerce products. It could be ticketing, shows, exhibitions. There's a variety. Also, that 92% are more likely to buy additional products. So if we go back to that attract, convert, and retain model, what they're saying here is that the retained customers, so people who've already purchased from you, 92% are more likely to buy additional products through you. So when we're thinking about our spend and our budgets, sometimes we just need to look at our actual retained customer base and look at how we can retarget and remarket to those retained customers to create that sense of loyalty, because they've already bought into you. I'm sure they think you're an amazing organization. And so, sending them an email or marketing to them, it's not, you're more likely to convert that way. So 2 stats, again, I thought were really helpful for this session today. Another one, this is the main one that we're going to talk about today, is the one framework to improve your customer value journey. This is a framework that I've been working with many organizations over the 2 years that I've been at the Digital Culture Network. And it seems a really great framework for any digital marketing strategy and not just e-commerce. So I'm just going to click to the next slide to show you this. And this is the value journey worksheet that I tend to work with organizations with. It's from Digital Marketer. I think it's the most clearest digital strategy for retaining customers. And it takes you through these different blocks to get through. And you can easily just, download this from Digital Marketer, or there'll be some slides, I'm sure, that they will get dispatched after this session, but or take a photograph of this slide. But this is the fundamentals that we're going to be talking about as well today. Thought I'd add some areas here, and this is around price and budgets that we look to achieve when we're looking at all these key areas. So when we're creating awareness to our museum or creating awareness to products, we're actually making a loss, because you're doing ads spends or Google AdWords or Facebook campaigns. There's money to attract those customers, to create that awareness. When we are then asking people, visitors and traffic, to be driven to a website or a product page, in our case for e-commerce, then again, we are not seeing money coming in. When we get to the next phase, when we're seeing subscribe, so this is someone actually providing their email address, again, we're not necessarily seeing a return here. And when we get to the convert stage, then again, we're looking at almost a break even. Like after all that paywork that we've spent so far, when we get to the convert, we're breaking even. Now, the excite stage is when someone's purchased from you and they've absolutely loved that product, and that's that retained customer. So we're probably not even really tapping into some of our customers who have purchased from us before, probably leave them alone, or maybe looking for other audiences, or just looking to do newsletters. But thinking about how you can personalize this next section is really crucial for value journey optimization. Because as you can see here, this is where you'll start to see a huge return on investment for your online shops. Multiple different ways of you being able to retarget to that customer base. Advocacy, again, them talking about your work to others will create more money. And then, you know, again, promoting and we'll go into that in a minute on the next slide, but what that looks like, that will create even more conversion for your online shop. But I just thought it was important to show those different angles. So if we're stopping at excite, potentially missing out on all that extra revenue that we could be bringing into our organizations. So awareness, what does that look like? So these are the cold Facebook or Instagram ads, Google AdWords that you're creating to create awareness of the product or exhibition. It doesn't have to be on, you know, for this, in the sake of this. So you're creating that spend. So that was that minus figure on the previous slide. The engage section. So that could be a pre-sale page, product page. Again, we're not necessarily seeing any return there. Subscribe. So this could be a promotional pop-up. You may have seen these on websites across the sector, also outside of the sector. Nice little pop-up to say, you know, sign up to our newsletter to get X% off your order today, or anything like that. That's the subscribe stage that I'm talking about here. Convert, so packaging up an offer, guiding that behavior, and here we're looking at warm retargeted ads because we know what they're interested, we know what they like, we know what they've been looking at. And the fourth one is abandoned cart workflow. And this is actually, in terms of e-commerce, most e-commerce platforms will be able to simply tick to say, would you like to create an abandoned cart workflow? And this can be across MailChimp as well. And I know Shopify has their own emails as well of how to switch this on. It's really, really valuable tool to have abandoned cart workflow. There's a huge high % of conversion just from abandoned cart emails that get sent out. It's definitely worth looking into. Now the excite, this could be a post-purchase upsell, so redeeming an offer. Again, this would be warm, hot targeted re-ads. You can also be an email campaign, so you know exactly what they're really into, and offer them a secondary offer. This ascend is that back-end offer, again, I just mentioned, promoting a higher ticket opportunity. So maybe it's an exhibition with maybe a high-end box set. It could be promotional seasonal campaigns, cross-promoting other products. But in terms of targeting these people, it would be a hot targeted ad because we know what they've purchased before, we know what their likes are, know what their interests are. Advocacy, so the advocate stage, testimonial workflows are really big. And what I mean by that, it's reviews, thanks to Amazon and the like. Reviews are actually as important as getting the product description copy right. And so, you know, creating reviews or, you know, adding reviews onto your website is a really great tool to have. Also, it keeps that connection up post-sale, which is really important. Don't want customers coming through and then maybe you send them an email later down the line when you've got something to sell. You want to keep them engaged, keep them part of the journey. And again, these are going to be proven happy customers, hopefully. And so you want to see that positive energy. If they love a product, to leave a review on that. And then finally, the promote. So customer social sharing, you know, if they're loving a product, you can do friends and family codes to extend that network. But really, it's about creating value to the customer to keep them through that cycle. And once you've got that cycle there, it goes all the way again. But again, it would be hot targeted ads this time, because they know who you are. They've bought into your products, and you know, this worksheet is proven to work. If you follow this for 90 days, they guarantee, and it's a free digital marketer, that you will be able to double your revenue within the first 90 days. And so I just think, in terms of this framework, it's the cleanest framework that I've seen to really help organizations get to A to B. And I know that I've been working with a few organizations who've tried to follow this worksheet, and it's really helped them with understanding that attracting audiences, how to convert, and also how to retain. Just wanted to give you an example of what I'm talking about when we're creating those awareness pages, those that hot targeted ads, etc. I've just got an example here of Baltic Shop, great shop. And you know, on the right hand side, we've got an Instagram post. This could be a sponsored ad. But you know, clicking through, this was their Christmas campaign, not last year, the year before. You know, although they did have these products last year and they were a great seller, and I still would like to buy one. If Baltic is watching. And so yeah, again, Baltic baubles, massive seller. Click through straight to their home pages, being able to shop. You're creating that awareness, and it's instant. No one's having to find where that product is. Just boom, straight into what they are promoting at that time. So making it really seamless for customer transaction and also conversion. Secondly, it's the engage. So they've clicked onto baubles, they've engaged in a product they really love. This one is a Dave Grohl bauble, because why not? Dave Grohl is awesome. And again, brilliant product copy here. They also do reviews. They've also got, you may also like other fine products on their shop. Obviously, they've kept it very related to that Christmas campaign. But you know, once we have people traffic drive to our website, what we don't want to achieve is that we want to help that 96% who come onto the website and are not ready to buy. So what could we do to incentivize that offer? And Baltic have done a key strategy here, thinking about how we can subscribe, because if we can't get people to buy now, if we have their email address, there's an opportunity to retarget them, send them an email, which is the welcome email of 15% off your first order, to try and get them through our customer sales funnel for next time. So if they didn't buy now, there's other ways of trying to bring them back in. Is there another product? We know what they're interested, we know what they've signed into. So just be thinking about the subscribe angle, because they do create a brilliant conversion, even if it's not at first instance. Fourthly is the convert. So potentially go and buy this product and they love it, and they potentially go and look, and they're really excited, and we potentially look to promote another product. In this case, it's a David Shrigley tea towel, because again, David Shrigley is awesome. And again, you know, you've created that excitement. They want to buy something else from them. They've talked about their friends, etc., about the shop, and they've gone back and thought, do you know what, that was a really great customer experience. I would love to buy something else from that shop for another friend, for a gift for somebody else. And then there's that next stage, which is after that excite, the extend. So I've just given an example here of their website when they had a GD Chicago silk scarf, which again is that high-end product that potentially could have been a newsletter targeted to that specific customer. Again, it's thinking about the sort of low-hanging fruit and thinking what other products would they be interested in, which may be a slightly higher tiered item. Because you potentially won't always find those customers who are going to go in and buy the most expensive products in a shop, but you know, there's a potential to be working up to a high average order value in the future. The advocate stage, again, Baltic have put here real people reviews, which I like because it's good tongue-in-cheek, and that's what their store is about. It's just really important to have reviews on there, because you know, these reviews could trigger an impulse for someone to purchase and go, you know, I'd really like that beautiful print, but it's also said like, yes, it's very small, making the price seem expensive, but as well as I bought it to love it, and I love it, I do. I mean, brilliant, you know. So again, great star views for the shop. So that will also help with that conversion. So it's going back to that model again of attracting, converting, and retain. And that model helps all organizations to be thinking like, how are we attracting, how are we converting, and how are we retaining? And so if you're going to learn anything from this session today, just the takeaway rather is attract, convert, and retain. Like, what are we doing as an organization to be constantly attracting, converting, retain? Once you have those in your you know, your skill base, your knowledge, or your front of mind, it will be constantly thinking like, how can we attract this audience? How can we convert them? What kind of messaging? What tone of voice? And you know, how we can retain them again is the key here. Now I've got about 5 or so minutes left on this, but I thought I'd throw in some of my top tips for product pages, because this is always a top quick win for a lot of organizations when I speak to on my one-to-one calls. Firstly, thinking about curating that homepage and really influencing that experience. So if you've just done, and this is quite a while ago, but if you have got an Andy Warhol exhibition, which the Tate had, having that product on a banner at the top of the site, make it simple. Again, we've got here, find your perfect print. They've really thought about like, how do people use the site? How can you make it really seamless? Do people search by color, theme, artist, or is it by exhibition? And they've got some really nice areas there, like our favorites and new arrivals. So keeping it fresh, keeping the homepage really created will definitely help with sales conversion. You're creating that experience just like we do at our museums. The next top tip, detailed product copy, always a given. Again, it can help with conversion. You know, if a customer has a certain question, you answered it, you're going to definitely help with that sales conversion. Also, just having multiple product images is always a really great one. And Frantic Assembly have done this really well by putting their team members who dance with them on their online shop, which I think is great because it just adds that sense of community, which is exactly what they're about. Got Grimm & Co here. Again, they have they've got really great product copy actually, and they've looked at marketing offers. So they've got free shipping for orders over £50, which again can add to their average order value. So that's always a good one to do. So if you want to try out like free shipping over orders of 50, free shipping orders over 30, but just have a look at what works for you, for your organization and your product mix. Related products for sale at the bottom. This is kind of a given on most e-commerce sites, but always really good to kind of think about that upsell at checkout. And then creating a wish list. Wish lists are brilliant, especially because you can retarget and they share them. You can share these on, but you can also target those people who created those wish lists to ask them how they're getting on, and that's another really great strategy. I know a few organisations did during lockdown about creating that wish list, so when the online shop came back up again, that they will be able to retarget and maybe then offer them a cheeky little discount. And then the call to action, every purchase you make helps support our children's literacy charity. Every organisation uses their online shop to help extra programming, supporting other areas of the museum organisation. So share that, because it's really key. Amazon and all like can't necessarily say that. So use that kind of unique selling point to your best ability. Again, detailed product descriptions, but again, buyer in mind. What are the things that they would be asking? And they've got really beautiful, consistent product photography and multiple images across site. Alternative product images, again, lifestyle images are brilliant. What would that print look like in my lounge? That lounge might not be the same as your lounge, but gives you that sense of idea of thinking, okay, yeah, that looks good. And it just gives you a different perspective on a product. And we're starting to see quite a few of those, even like 360, augmented reality images. I know that Fender, when I used to work there, we're looking at AR, augmented reality technology, with seeing what that guitar looked like in the house. The car industry are also looking at what would this car look like on your driveway. So it's really just putting the product into the home environment to help with that conversion. So just thinking about lifestyle images is really great. Again, art space are also looking at alternative product images, so give that idea of like how big is that piece of art. It's just the little things that, you know, if you're not physically at you know, a museum, you're not seeing the product, online needs to really bridge that gap. And then we've got encourage sign up, so that for that introductory offer, always a brilliant thing to do. So I would encourage all organizations to look at subscribing. Mission statement, new selling point. Again, like the key thing for any online shop, it needs to have that mission statement. It needs to have that unique selling point. Like, why would I buy from this online shop? What are the benefits? What are, you know, what's that feel good factor for buying from direct from a museum? We've all got that in abundance. So really kind of just putting it on the website in a creative manner. Delivery information, going back to product reviews I mentioned earlier, really, really crucial here. But again, going back to what we're talking about today, attract, convert, and retain. If you look at these three models and use the digital marketer framework for the customer value journey, you will, by sure, be able to improve your online shop conversion. And if you've got any other questions, obviously, hopefully we've had some questions throughout this session. I'm more than happy to answer them if there's something bespoke for that. Just on the last page here, if you want to get in touch, this is our email address. You can get in touch via our website, and we are also on Twitter. If you want to talk about the session today or chat about anything, we're also able to join the conversation there. But that is it from me, and I'd love to hear your questions.